If you were in this situation, what would you do? Comment below so we can discuss. Anger came from the woman when this SUV tried to squeeze between her car, even though there was no car coming from behind. She was very angry and shouted at the driver behind. If you are in the same situation, please wait patiently for your turn.
It's all on camera.
Joey Rue was moving on the road when suddenly a Honda car sped up and encroached on the lane. The accident occurred unexpectedly, causing both vehicles to be damaged.
No, we're gonna stay right here. We have a fucking camera. We saw you hit us.
You cut me off from over there.
The man and his wife both tried to shout and blame Joey, but the police confirmed that they were the ones at fault and needed to take responsibility. This woman suddenly accelerated and crashed into the bike in front, then got angry and thought she was right. Initially, she had stopped her car at the bicycle stop when Clifcombe arrived. He was just standing on his section of the road. However, when the light turned green, the woman sped up and crashed into Clifcombe. Notably, she got out of her car and yelled at Clifcombe because she thought she was right.
Seriously?
What?
Seriously?
You hit me.
Do you know what a bike lane is?
You-
This is a bike lane. What are you doing in front of me?
You just hit me.
Shut the fuck up.
You hit me from behind.
I didn't hit you from behind.
What's happened to your mirror?
How did I hit you from behind? My mirror is in.
There's the...
How did I hit you from behind? My mirror is in. How did I hit you from behind? My mirror is in. Go yourself. Shut up. No one is chatting to you. Keep riding.
Good, you're...
Keep riding.
This is a reminder for you when passing through intersections to reduce speed and observe carefully, especially at intersections without traffic lights. Despite everyone stopping at the red light and yielding to pedestrians, this man still tried to push ahead even though people were still crossing the street. Notably, he even got out of his car to curse and challenge the drivers behind him, but was quickly taught a lesson about politeness with a blast of pepper spray. The incident occurred in Vancouver when a man driving a white car lost his temper and approached the black car in front to attack the man inside with punches. His rage ended when he was arrested after a woman in the black car ran out and told the police what happened. Near Markham Ard and Finchave, a black Hyundai was tailgating a black Civic just before the collision. The crash caused the female driver of the Hyundai to explode in rage, rushing up to attack, scream at, and spit on the Civic's driver. What do you think about this action? Let's discuss in the comments below, but first, let's stay calm, as rage won't safely get you home. The car was worth £200 and the damage was worth £500. When this man decided to back down while his car was on the bed of the truck, but the rope caused the car to get stuck in the air and couldn't be lowered, no matter how hard he tried to accelerate.
Get out of the car and push it off, partner!
Joni Lee was waiting at a red light in North Vancouver when she encountered road rage between two drivers and a passenger. Two drivers and one passenger first exchanged greetings by kicking cars and throwing bottles. The third car was a victim under the first wave of attack. Then it was heated up, and the black car driver broke the silver car's windshield wiper and smashed its back window. The silver car's passenger rushed to open the black car and revenged. This video serves as a vivid reminder to all of us of the consequences of road rage, which can often cause immense damage. Therefore, please be calm when handling everything. A man believed to be a soldier in the infamous De Cavalcante family from New Jersey was driving along Route 17 near New York when another driver did something he didn't like. This infuriated him, and he started yelling and threatened to attack Tony. His rage ended when another man approached and advised him to leave afterward.
We are on the 710.
It's rare for people to receive swift justice after a road rage incident. But in this case, the police's rapid response to the road rage incident helped resolve the situation quickly. You'll never fully realize how severe the consequences of a serious fit of rage can be unless you witness it. Hopefully, everyone can learn something new after watching this video. Never let your temper flare up because you might just end up being your own victim. Arkansas State Police spotted a Ford Escape speeding and signaled it to pull over, but the woman driving decided to flee. The incident ended when she was taken into custody in Ashley County after police found a pack of cigarettes containing 10 pills suspected to be hydrocodone. Have you ever encountered a similar situation while driving? Share your story in the comments below. The Mercedes driver suddenly accelerated and stopped, then got angry at the car behind him. The police immediately arrived and invited both drivers to the side of the road to work. This incident occurred in Russia when two individuals argued while waiting at a red light. Tensions escalated when the motorcyclist used his foot to kick the car door hard, causing the car driver to lose his temper and use his steering wheel to turn right, causing both driver and car to fall. After that, the two continued to use punches to talk to each other. Finally, the rampage ended when the police showed up and took them both to the police station. After all, losing your temper and getting angry on the road only makes things more complicated. When you give in to rage, you never know who you might be confronting, even a professional fighter. The rage incident occurred when a motorcycle rider stepped off his bike and attempted to unleash his fury on a car driver, unaware that he was a professional fighter. The altercation ended with the motorcyclist receiving a harsh lesson. Patience in every situation is necessary. This driver refused to wait for his turn patiently and recklessly crashed into a Ford, dealing with his insurance afterward. Hastiness never brings you home safely. A Jeep tried to overtake and squeeze into the left turn lane.
Oh my god! You're f***ing kidding me!
Call 911.
Then, realizing the traffic was moving too slowly, continued to change lanes and fled as if nothing had happened. Brian was driving home on Roosevelt Road after a long day at work when a car on his right wanted to merge into his lane, but the car behind Brian did not notice. The collision was quite strong, causing Brian to be surprised and panicked. Both cars stopped and discussed the incident. It seemed like everything ended happily when he suddenly ran away right after Brian turned off the camera. This is probably the answer to why you have to concentrate completely on driving at all times. This young man didn't even think about red lights and other cars stopping. He rushed in without any observation. As a result, 32 cars were seriously damaged, and he had to work with insurance and compensate a large amount of money. A man on a motorcycle unexpectedly attacked a sedan, which angered the driver, who then swerved to cause the motorcycle to crash. However, the speed was quite fast, causing the car to lose control and hit the roadside railing. Then, continued to drive to the side of the road and crashed into a white SUV going in the same direction, causing the SUV to overturn. Everyone seemed okay after the incident, but both drivers were arrested to be held accountable for their actions. Everything that starts in anger often ends in regret. A pickup truck did not allow a Vios to pass, which pulled a red car into an accident. The pickup tried to force the Vios off the road, but the Vios did not stop and drove away. This driver became angry when the car behind them honked and almost hit her.
What's your f***ing problem? You!
Tensions escalated when she suddenly brake-checked the car behind her. The collision made her so angry that she got out of her car and screamed at the person behind her.
Piece of shit!
What's your problem?
You're following me!
You're trying to hit your kids.
You f***ing no! I have two f***ing kids in my
Right.
car!
What did you do that for?
Because you're all that close to my
I
ass!
wasn't. What's the matter
Yes,
with
you
you?
were!
No, it wasn't. Nobody did your kids. You're a fucking piece of shit when you did your kids. Nobody did your kids.
At the same time, the police arrived at the scene to resolve the issue.
So if you could just go ahead, you pack up your stuff.
Do you agree this is the best way to resolve issues without hurting anyone? It may not be commonly practiced, but if it were, mouthwash and dentists would become very popular. A simple road rage incident led to an assault involving 2 men and a woman. No updates have been provided, but the act of 2 men hitting a woman is condemnable. It's not right to attack a woman for any reason. This is also a video that shows us that anger is not the best way to handle situations. The driver of a white SUV tried to overtake and cut in front of another driver. But anger and speed caused the SUV to crash into concrete blocks and flip over. Fortunately, everyone was okay. Patience not only keeps you safe, but it can also save you money. A man noticed the traffic was very slow, so he decided to switch to the right lane and speed up. But he was soon pulled over by the police and given a speeding ticket. An older man shouted and cursed at a young man, challenging him to attack. As a result, the man over 60 years old acted like a 12-year-old boy who had to regret his actions. Therefore, we should not overestimate our own strength and look down on others. But the best way is still to be calm, and will bring you home safely. This man suddenly cut in front of John when he was about to reach a red light. It's worth mentioning that he continued to back down, causing his car to hit John's car, and then jumped out of the car and jumped inexplicably in the middle of the intersection. What do you think about this action? Let's discuss together in the comments section. An SUV tried to squeeze between a pickup and another vehicle, but the narrow space angered the pickup driver, who cursed at the SUV. What followed was a battle when the pickup truck turned on its rear lights and caused the SUV driver's eyes to hurt for a long time. The man and his wife came together and screamed at the man behind them and wanted to attack him for almost getting him into trouble. Eventually, a large man from the car stepped out, and his size made the entire family reluctantly leave. Therefore, stepping out of your car with the intention of attacking someone can put you in danger. A conflict occurred when a sedan did not let a pickup overtake, and the 2 drivers collided, showing their strength through punches. However, what remained were the injuries from a fit of anger, hoping that all of us would maintain a calm state to handle situations. This young woman, just 18 years old, was arrested after being stopped by law enforcement officers after they received concerned calls about a possible impaired driver. While conducting a search of the woman's car, police discovered over-the-counter pills in her possession. Her behavior and appearance led police to believe she was using drugs. The police decided to arrest her, but the situation escalated when the woman became aggressive towards the police during the arrest. The pickup truck driver became angry for some reason, which made him speed up and pass through the intersection at high speed, causing the vehicle to lose control and veer off the road.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
The incident was quite serious, But the people filming did not help the victim. If you are in this situation, try to take some time to see the problem situation.
Oh my God!
This man sped up and began cursing at the cameraman, but soon realized that the laws of air resistance still applied even when he was angry. The sedan driver exploded in rage, yelling and cursing at the van driver. The van driver got out of the vehicle, and the two rushed at each other, but were quickly knocked down. This shows that raging is never a good way to solve problems. Only calmness can safely get you home. Rage ensued when the motorcyclist threatened to attack the man inside the car.
And I'm coming down! Fucking was it, you dickhead?
The older man was not overly outraged and just laughed at the insults and threats.
Laugh at me, you twat, I'm British. No.
The outrage ended when the man stepped on the gas and left, but before leaving, he hit the motorbike hard. This woman attacked the man and tried to steal his phone during a road rage incident outside River Valley Church in North Loop, Minneapolis. The rage ended when the man accelerated and the woman was thrown off, suffering minor injuries that taught her a lesson about the consequences of rage. Rage came from a man waiting at a red light. He aggressively got out of his car and threatened to attack the car behind him, but then left.
What the f you saying, bro? What you saying? Pussy on. This guy, bro, I swear to God.
However, at the next red light, he yelled and cursed at Clifcomb for filming him. He even threw many can lids at Clifcomb.
Say nothing. Carry on moving on. That's something you move from my car. Move the away from my Move from my car, bro. Move from my car. Move from my car. Don't look at me, bro. Move. Move from my car, bro. Move. Whoa. Hey!
The incident continued when he left and quickly turned left and hit the cyclist. Even though everyone was surrounding him, he still intended to stab more people around him and escape.
Hey, leave you! Leave him alone. I know, but I'd leave him alone. Because you! Oh, he's coming back. Hey!
The police arrived promptly, and he fled because he was driving a stolen car. Rage occurred when a sedan hit a motorcycle and then fled. The motorcyclist was extremely angry, but the red car unexpectedly returned and crashed into the motorcycle, completely damaging it. A Chevrolet changed lanes, but a black car refused to yield, causing road rage. The Chevrolet driver got out to talk, but the other man unexpectedly sprayed pepper spray at him, escalating the tension. People then came over and restrained him as he tried to flee. The driver of a BMW X6 became enraged and rushed to attack a sedan, but as he was about to strike, his car rolled backward because he hadn't used the handbrake, breaking his door. In the end, his tantrums didn't save him money. Videos serve as a vivid visual teaching tool about the consequences of road rage, hoping everyone maintains a calm and collected demeanor to handle any situation that arises. Next, we will look at a road rage incident involving two women. Buddha, the founder of Buddhism, once said, "Anger is like a hot stone in your hand. Holding it will only cause you pain. Let it go to find peace." Regardless of who wins or loses in a fit of rage, the injuries will serve as a lesson for everyone. Who do you think is at fault in this situation? Let's discuss it in the comments section. But anyway, I hope everyone remains calm. What would you do if you were the driver in the rear? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below so we can discuss them together. The incident occurred on the highway when a man in a sedan rolled down his window and attacked an SUV. As the SUV sped away, he accidentally hit the door release lever and fell onto the road at a high speed, spinning several times before getting up. Luckily, he's okay, but it doesn't matter what the reason for the anger was. But when you get angry on the road, you won't get home safely. A young man rushed up, screaming and threatening to attack the driver behind him without clear reason. But he quickly fled the scene when the police arrived. Answer honestly, do you find his dance funny? A man fled after vandalizing a white car. It's unclear why, but a man in a white shirt attacked and destroyed the rear window of the white car. The two people in the car got out and were ready to fight. But as soon as the woman pulled out a baseball bat, the man ran away.
That's a teenager, what the heck? Oh, that's his fault, dude.
The two cars parked very close together, and the driver of the red car still tried to squeeze through.
Don't get there, hey buddy. It's no warfare.
He fled afterward, but the car was damaged and hit a roadside barrier. People chased him down and made him take responsibility for his actions. An argument broke out when both people thought they were too close to each other, making an accident likely. The woman got out of the car and had just started speaking when the man driving the car accidentally stepped on the accelerator, and the car nearly hit the two people in front. Luckily, no one was injured. Two men attacked each other without understanding why they were fighting in the first place. This video serves as a vivid lesson on the consequences of road rage. I hope you always handle things calmly. The incident occurred at Willingdon and Burke when a Lexus suddenly accelerated and ran a red light right in front of the police. He was immediately arrested and given a ticket. A driver suddenly sped up, cut off the car behind him, and got out to confront the other driver, but a police car was immediately there and ordered him to get back into his car. If you were the driver, what would you do with this drunk guy?
Right, just move out there, please, okay?
Thank you.
But the best advice is always to stay sober on the road.
Yeah, and see, there's a camera. See, hey, Mike.
This Russian guy was furious when a Mercedes-Benz unexpectedly cut in front of his car. He was so angry that he jumped out to confront the occupants of the Mercedes-Benz. However, as soon as the window was rolled down, he regretted his actions and had to leave. So, if you engage in road rage and leave your car, you're definitely putting yourself in a vulnerable situation. Duke was driving near a red light on Brisbane Road when he encountered a driver in a Nissan who swerved suddenly, almost hitting a motorcyclist in front. Duke knocked on his side mirror to remind the driver, but the man got out of his car and rushed at Duke, shouting and cursing.
Yeah, what? Hey, make a scene of this. What? I'll knock you off your bike and jump on your head, right? Alrighty, yeah. It is on.
The tension escalated when the man hit Duck's helmet, and Duke fought back. Suffolk police went into a high-speed chase on the busy LI Expressway after a woman involved in a crash in Manorville fled for miles before being surrounded by police. The woman was arrested and charged with suspicion of driving under the influence of drugs and/or alcohol after a breathalyzer test at the scene. Running a red light in front of the police is never a good idea.
There you go.
What do you think about this situation? Let's discuss it in the comments section. The end result of this road rage incident was that both cars lost a side mirror. A woman suddenly threw her gun out of the car while being chased by the police. The incident was recorded by the Arkansas State Police as the woman drove a red pickup truck. After noticing the police car behind her, she decided to flee and threw her handgun away. She eventually stopped and followed the instructions of the young officer.
Hey, just come out. Just come out. Come on out with your hands up. Come on out with your hands up. Hands up. Come on, walk back to me. Keep your hands right there, okay? We're gonna get figured out. Okay, I understand. Just keep your hands where they're at, all right? We're gonna get it figured out. No one else in the truck, right?
No, sir.
Hang it right here, okay?
This young man suddenly stopped, threw a fit of rage, and charged ready to fight with the car behind him. but he immediately regretted it when he realized the person he intended to attack was a police officer. Before deciding to rage on the road, think about its consequences. It's unclear why this young man became angry and attacked the glass door of a white car. The white car decided to leave, but before leaving, it crashed into his open door. This video is perhaps one of the most vivid about road rage and immediate karma. Everyone was okay when the car unexpectedly flipped over, to the surprise of all. Surely after this lesson, he will think carefully before getting angry. Justice is always present anywhere, and it's even better if it comes quickly. A Chevrolet tried to pass when a pedestrian was crossing. Without waiting too long, the police immediately called him back and issued him a ticket. The truck driver belched black smoke at the drivers behind him and then accelerated suddenly, only to crash into the divider while observing their reactions. The crash was quite severe, causing damage to his vehicle, but luckily he was okay. The incident occurred in Scottsdale, Arizona. A female driver in her 60s was following closely and attempted to overtake in the center turn lane before going off the rails and losing control of her vehicle. The speed was too fast, causing the car to spin out and be seriously damaged. Fortunately, the woman is fine. A young man suddenly surged forward and brake check. He was furious with the car behind him and ready to attack the driver behind him. However, as soon as he turned around, his car drifted forward uncontrollably because he didn't use the parking brake before getting out. He managed to get back to his car, but it still veered across to the opposite side of the road. Two men were arrested after a road rage incident involving guns in Virginia Beach, Virginia. A motorcyclist and an SUV driver were arguing at a busy intersection. The SUV driver then got out of his vehicle and pointed a gun at the motorcyclist. Police at the scene intervened and handcuffed the SUV driver. In many states, pointing a gun at someone else makes you at fault. Hence, this video serves as a lesson for all of us to always remain calm in handling situations. How can you kick a metal box weighing several tons and expect to win? And this was his answer. The first president of the United States, George Washington, once said, "Anger is a dangerous enemy. Be careful when confronted with it. Therefore, everything can be better starting with being calm." The incident happened in Vancouver, when the man became angry because he did not give way, and at the same time, the police car behind witnessed the entire incident. He shouted in exasperation and then had to speak to the police about his actions. Russell was traveling on the road when suddenly an oncoming Chevrolet SUV unexpectedly charged towards him, causing everyone to be extremely startled. The SUV driver fled immediately after the incident. Fortunately, everyone was okay. Someone was not having a good day, so just smile and walk away rather than trying to argue pointlessly. Maybe this is also a good way for us to learn every time you are a victim of road rage on the road. This is probably the clearest video about instant justice on the road. This is why you keep looking in all directions, even when the light is green, or you have the right of way. This is probably a lesson in maintaining a safe distance between cars when moving and driving at the appropriate speed, otherwise, situations like in the clip will occur.
All right, you know the rules. We're on the freeway. The windows go up.
Simon, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hot heads and anger will not bring you home safely.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ozgeek had to stop because he didn't want to lose his license by trying to beat a yellow light. But this truck didn't pay attention and almost crashed into him. He even got angry at Ozgeek for stopping. This happened just south of Childers, Queensland. To avoid trouble, this is probably the biggest reason for you to equip your car with a dash cam. The woman reversed the car unreasonably, and the dash cam recorded her accusation. If this truck was as small as an ant, then surely the driver of the van would not be at fault. The woman sitting in the car seemed to realize the mistake was hers, and her reaction after being hit was to protect her child and fasten the seatbelt rather than going down to settle the incident.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated.
Go on. Go on.
This aggressive young man got out of his car, carrying a whip intending to hit someone. But was immediately sprayed in the face with pepper spray. Iski was traveling on the road when he encountered a pedestrian walking in an area that was not on the pedestrian path, but Iski still decided to stop and give way to him. But the man was moving and staring at Iski. Then when he turned around, he crashed into the electric pole. The incident occurred when a white car attempted to pass, but the red car driver didn't like this, leading to an inevitable brawl. The driver of the red car seemed more aggressive, as he immediately got out and tried to attack the white car's driver. But the situation changed when the other man exited his vehicle wielding a baseball bat. The fight ended when both noticed a police car approaching. The red car drove away without pulling over to the side, waving at the police to stop as he left. This video surely teaches us to think carefully before venting our anger on someone. It's best to behave calmly. Omar was traveling on the highway when the SUV following him was annoyed because Omar accidentally braked, pulled up next to him, and started cursing and screaming. But being engrossed in cursing caused him to karma immediately. His car rushed forward and hit the car in front so hard that both cars were seriously damaged. Luckily, everyone is fine. The incident occurred when the BMW forcefully hit the rear of this car. Remarkably, he threatened the owner of the dashcam and then tried to flee. However, the police were immediately there to stop him. The lesson is too much, so perhaps this man will never dare to look down on women again. Unable to wait, the driver of the Toyota was still defiant and rushed forward, trying to squeeze past the two cars, and he thought he was above everyone else. Trying to get through the traffic queue that had caught both cars, all cars were damaged. If you were in this situation, what would you do? Let's discuss in the comments section. This young man suddenly became angry and wanted to attack an older man. The first time he attacked, he felt it wasn't enough, so he decided to run back to his car and bring an extra stick. But unexpectedly, the man pulled out a gun to defend himself, making the young man immediately regret it and put down the weapon. With this vivid video, we all understand that getting angry on the streets and looking down on others is an act that deserves condemnation and should be eliminated. Be a calm person, because everything will be easier with smart handling. This is a 60-year-old woman driving who closely followed and tried to pass in a middle turning lane before veering off the track and losing control of her vehicle. The speed was too high, causing her Jeep to be completely damaged. Fortunately, she was okay. Immediate karma for road robbers in Romania. The police were right there afterward and caught these two robbers. The SUV was speeding through a busy street. which led the police to spot him and immediately question him, giving him a speeding ticket. Where will road rage lead you? It will lead to damage to yourself and those around you. Therefore, always remain calm, no matter what kind of rage is directed at you on the road. If you find this video valuable and it teaches you new lessons to drive safer, please like, subscribe to the channel, and share this video as a reward for my efforts. This time, it continues with road rage between a motorcyclist and a Honda driver. The motorcyclist punched the car driver, causing some people to become enraged on the road. Luckily, tensions did not escalate as both parties left shortly thereafter. This is Space Force Captain Road Rage with Richard. The cause was a misunderstanding that Richard was intentionally filming him in the parking lot. But in reality, Richard was just FaceTiming with a friend.
No.
Like in the parking lot? Yes, you did.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you did.
I didn't, but you just hit me. I got it on camera.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
That's all right. You got you on camera. I got you right here, buddy. Yeah.
I did that. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, we got you. Thanks. We'll wait for the cops.
Okay.
Got you.
It's not gonna wreck anything.
Don't do that in my car. That will wreck shit. Oh, you gotta...
John was driving on the road and then witnessed these two men crashing into each other while waiting at the red light. Not knowing the real reason, but both got into their cars and left right after. Pete was moving on the highway in Danville, YL, when the truck had no observation and did not signal when changing lanes, which caused the truck to collide with Pete's car, making his car thrown off the road.
No. The variometer showed a steady climb of 9 feet per second. God damn it! The airspeed indicator...
Pete was scared after the collision, but fortunately, everything was still under his control.
Since the phosphorus-coated instruments blinded me, I turned the small shaded lamps
down to their weakest. Strong gusts of wind tossed the machine about and made flying difficult. The rain lashed...
Not turning on the signal lights and even failing to notice the large truck standing next to him, this is how the man changed lanes. This caused both vehicles to be heavily damaged, even causing his own vehicle's tire to deflate. And here is why focusing entirely on driving will ensure every trip you take is safe and efficient.
Video protected. Cậu muốn thầy ôm ví mà khóc ư?
Wi-Fi disabled.
In this situation, the BMW driver kept swearing at the car behind him, and then he carelessly pressed the accelerator pedal, causing him to crash into the rear of the Hyundai car in front. Immediately after causing the accident, he ran away. Gello was driving north on Gilbert Pioneer, and there this white SUV, coming from a complex on the other side of the street, wanted to merge into his lane. Gell honked if they didn't pay attention to him, because there were no merge lanes. They felt angry and lowered their windows to scream. After they passed, they decided to stop and threw the bottle of Gatorade at Gel's car and left.
My car is messed up anyway.
Perhaps the best way to provoke someone is to honk your horn. Both nearly caused a serious incident when Fant honked.
What's wrong with you, bud? You! What's up? I'll you up right now, bitch. You might want to get back in that car, motherfucker.
Think carefully before you decide to honk.
Get in the motherfucker.
The incident happened in France when a cyclist suddenly cut off an angry driver, causing chaos on the road. Who do you think was at fault in this situation?
Mais je passe. T'essayes de passer comme ça. Pourquoi j'essaie de passer? Parce que je passe. Pourquoi t'essayes de passer comme ça? Je vais t'enculer ta grand-mère. Pourquoi tu t'essayes de passer comme ça? Parce que, oh mec, ça fait une demi-heure que je te vois pas les couilles. Je vois pas les couilles. Je vais t'enculer ta grand-mère.
It appears that the white truck might have hit the blue car from behind, nearly causing an accident. This angered the woman driving the blue car, and when the light turned red, she rushed up white truck and attacked the person inside. Traffic was slowing down when a man in a Cadillac ignored this and stopped to talk to a construction worker, which led the car behind to honk immediately. He then got out of his car and reacted to the people behind him.
Just drive your car! Or what? Yeah, that'll end up real well for you. You're a road rager, man. I'm just telling you to get out of the road.
Despite limited space, the driver of a white car cut off everyone while parking without turning on any signals. His intention was to make an illegal U-turn, and he honked for the cars behind to hurry up. As a result, he crashed into another approaching SUV, causing damage to both vehicles. Immediately, the man in the other car got out and started yelling. Be careful with road rage. It might not turn out as you think. We use this video to remind everyone of the vivid consequences of not being able to control one's anger. Always stay calm, and things will be all right. But if you can't control your anger, you might end up at a disadvantage. Rigo blew the truck's horns at this individual for approaching so close to the passenger's right side. And he got upset that he got out to fight with Rigo. He even stopped traffic on a Miami expressway. An incident occurred in southern Florida when this man abruptly changed lanes upon seeing the vehicles ahead stopping.
Cut me off. It's all
He
right
threatened
there,
to pull
bro.
out a gun because he said Gibson had blocked him from behind, and he called the police. However, Gibson had recorded the entire incident. After the incident, this man was actually wanted for a stolen rental car, but managed to drive away from the scene with the police following.
How'd I hit you from the back? Have a logical answer. Logical. Yeah, you okay? Have fun explaining to the insurance.
Despite everyone stopping for a red light, the SUV sped through the red light. At the same time, a sedan came fast and hit the rear of the SUV, causing the SUV to spin around in the intersection. The woman driving the sedan was extremely angry and yelled at the SUV because the collision severely damaged her car. What would you do if someone backed their car into yours right in front of you? Russ was driving on the highway and traffic was congested. A fire truck was approaching from behind, and Russ tried to move forward to make way for the fire truck, honking to urge the drivers in front to give way. However, the man in the BMW didn't notice the fire truck behind and got extremely angry, stepping out of his car ready to confront Russ.
Right there, dude. Let's go. Dude, go. Go. It's an emergency. Talk to them, seriously.
Shut your bitch ass out, bro! Let me move, whole ass nigga!
Okay, go. Go.
After realizing there was a fire truck behind, he argued for a while before getting back into his car and driving away, still in his lane despite the fire truck honking several times. The brake tester in this video allegedly did the same thing to another driver that he was doing to the dashcam owner, and the other driver failed to do so. This resulted in an accident with minimal damage to the vehicles involved. Immediately, the man driving the sedan behind him rushed over and reminded him about driving. Willoaks merged in front of this driver 12 miles ago. She continued to follow tailing him the whole time. But when Willoaks changed direction, she was unable to control the speed, causing her car to crash into the pickup truck. Both vehicles were seriously damaged, but fortunately, everyone was okay. An incident occurred when the woman in front of Dan suddenly brake-checked him. Dan also sped up and performed the same maneuver on her. She immediately got out of her car and approached Dan, ready to argue. If you were in this situation, do you have any better ways to handle it? Please comment below. Let's discuss it in the comment section. KIA driver essentially went around the Range Rover because he was reversing into the road earlier on. This guy then decided to speed, tailgate, and swerve around to overtake this guy, and the brake check him before blocking the entire road to shout at him.
Do it again. Right, well, we've got that on camera. Embarrass your kids. We've got that on camera. Yeah, nice one.
I always hope that you can learn from the vivid consequences of road rage from this video. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment anything to let us know you enjoyed this topic.
Oh shit. Tripping. You're tripping.
Let's continue with road rage in Surrey. Clark was driving when a woman in a Chevrolet suddenly sped up next to him and cursed at Clark, even though he had no idea why. This man crashed into me, while Charles was stopped in the turning lane waiting for traffic to pass.
Are you serious? Oh my God.
But what was special was that he then tried to deny stabbing Charles, even after Charles showed him the video. Road rage often starts from distracted driving or misunderstandings, in situations that lead to anger and loss of control. Therefore, I made this video with the hope that you can learn from vivid real-life examples to drive safer and handle every situation more fairly. I wish you safe travels on all your journeys. If you were in this situation, what would you do? Comment below so we can discuss.